Trump warns North Korea that U.S. military is locked and loaded. Trump warns North Korea that U.S. military is locked and loaded. Image copyright Reuters. President Donald Trump says the U.S. military is locked and loaded to deal with North Korea, ramping up the rhetorical brinkmanship. Military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded, should North Korea act unwisely. Hopefully Kim Jong-un will find another path. He tweeted. He spoke as Pyongyang accused him of driving the Korean peninsula to the brink of a nuclear war. North Korea has announced plans to fire missiles near the U.S. territory of Guam. The Pacific Islands Homeland Security Agency issued a fact sheet on Friday with tips for residents to prepare for any missile threat. The sheet states, "Do not look at the flash or fireball, it can blind you." Media playback is unsupported on your device. Media caption: Guam beachgoers unfazed by North Korea threats lie flat on the ground and cover your head. If the explosion is some distance away, it could take 30 seconds or more for the blast wave to hit. Moscow said the exchange of threats between Washington and Pyongyang worry us very much. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov rated the risk of military conflict as very high as he put forward a joint Russian-Chinese plan to defuse the crisis. Mr. Trump's tweet follows his threat earlier this week to rain fire and fury on Pyongyang. His latest post came hours after his Defense Secretary Jim Mattis attempted to cool tensions by emphasizing a peaceful resolution to the crisis. Speaking in California late on Thursday, the Pentagon chief said it was his job to be ready for conflict. But he said the effort by Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley has diplomatic traction. It is gaining diplomatic results. Mr. Mattis added, "The tragedy of war is well enough known. It doesn't need another characterization beyond the fact that it would be catastrophic." Media playback is unsupported on your device. Media caption: Mattis, "The tragedy of war is known. It would be catastrophic." When asked about U.S. military plans for a potential conflict, he said the country was ready, but he would not tell the enemy in advance what I'm going to do. Also on Friday, North Korea's official KCNA news agency accused Washington of a criminal attempt to impose nuclear disaster upon the Korean nation. Pyongyang's media outlet said America was making desperate efforts to test weapons in the Korean peninsula. The U.S. is the mastermind of nuclear threat, the heinous nuclear war fanatic, the report said. Tensions have escalated since North Korea tested 2 intercontinental ballistic missiles in July. The regime was further angered by last week's UN decision to increase economic sanctions against it. North Korea has said it will within days finalize a plan to fire medium to long-range rockets towards Guam, where U.S. strategic bombers are based, along with more than 160,000 U.S. citizens. There has been no indication that any actual attack on the Pacific Island is imminent. Media playback is unsupported on your device. Media caption: Who's in Trump's good and bad books? On Thursday, Mr. Trump suggested that his own statements on North Korea had not been tough enough, warning the regime to be very, very nervous. However, he added that the U.S. would always consider negotiations. He also chided the North's closest ally, China, saying it could do a lot more. China's state-run Global Times newspaper wrote that Beijing should stay neutral if North Korea launches an attack that threatens the US. But it also said that if the US and South Korea attacked North Korea to force regime change, then China must intervene to prevent it. Meanwhile, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull said his nation would be prepared to join a conflict against North Korea if the US came under attack. Australia would honor its commitment under a 1951 treaty, he said, as America would come to our aid if we were attacked. Media playback is unsupported on your device. Media caption. The BBC's Robin Brandt asks those in the South Korean capital, Seoul, "Are you scared?"